Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. We're gonna make it a blue day. Chelsea, Chelsea. Listen. If you're a Chelsea fan, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. More content is coming in regards to Chelsea Football Club. You already know the deal. You know what I'm saying? And also, what I need you to do is, if you're a football fan, I need you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the bell notifications, because more football content or sport content in general will be on this channel. So don't get that twisted. You understand? Then I also need you to make sure you hit that like button, because at the end of the day, it helps with the algorithms. So the more people that see this, the better. All right? Now, obviously, we're talking about you see the title, yeah? It's about the Champions League, Benfica versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Jose Mourinho's return. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's so many variables. Do you know what I mean? It's a thing of, you look at it from the point of view of like, okay, well, if you look at what's his name, like Jose Mourinho, it's his return back to Benfica, but also his return to Stamford Bridge. Ironically, he's returned back to also the Champions League. So this happened to be his first game back in the Champions League. This happened to also be Chelsea's first game back at Stamford Bridge in the Champions League. So it's just one of those things where anything can happen, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? However, we're going to react to the highlights, to all that stuff there, the match reports, all that stuff there. So make sure the like button, the subscribe button. So yeah, man. So first, obviously, you know the deal, you know the drill. I have to go to their website first. Shout out to Sonia Bombasta and that. Get me. Take over. No, what's the word I mean? Not overtaken. She's done a great job so far of, you know what I mean, taking the reins from Emma Hayes. Do you know what I mean? It's like Emma Hayes is still there. Like, that's just an amazing feat, to be honest. To be able to still make the women's team successful. But anyway, aside from the women's team, we can talk about the women's team another day for now. Right now, we are going to talk about Chelsea's senior squad, and we may talk about the youth as well, although Chelsea's senior squad is the youth at that same time. So yeah, let's just get straight into it real quick. So latest news. All right. Give me a second, people. We're gonna make it a blue day. Hey, hey, Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. All right, listen. All right, so now that that's up, I'm trying to also share this on Facebook and Twitter, so bear with me in it as well at the same time. It's like, you know what I mean? That's why you guys also need to share it as well, because the more people that see it, the better. All right? So let me share that if that one wants to share. You know what I mean? I'm about to try and get a new font. Okay, that's fine. I'm about to say I might need to get a new thumbnail on thing. What's going on? We're gonna make it a blue day. All right, so we'll read into these articles and the match report. Let's get to the match report first. All right, where are we at? Gallery, Champions League football returns to Chelsea, to Stamford Bridge. All right, boom, here we go. All right, so I would have loved to have reacted to the actual video, but for now, until Chelsea Football Club give me the permission to be able to do so, I have to leave it be for now. You understand? And if I can't go to other sources like TNT, Sky Sports, because they blocked the thing. So this is why I'm doing it this way. All right. Okay. So here's the match report: Chelsea 1, Benfica 0. And ironically enough, we actually beat Benfica 1-0. Like, I remember it was around 80 minutes in the or was it 87 minutes or 85 minutes or something like that in the Club World Cup, en route to winning the Club World Cup. And I remember, because of what was going on in America with the thunderstorms, they lock off the game for like 2 hours plus or something mad like that. So we were already winning 1-0. Like, do you see what I'm saying? But we ended up winning 4-1, which is incredible when you think about the circumstances, because you never know how the game can, you know, how certain elements of the atmosphere can change, the energy can change. Do you know what I mean? It's how do you keep the players warm? Do you know what I mean? Do they have the same mentality, the same energy, the same drive, the same dedication? Because like, you may want to win, which is fair, but sometimes your body my body's not accepting it right now. Do you know what I mean? I rested for this long. Do you know what I mean? I've been waiting for this long, and now what? And oh man, like if it's like, it's one of those things where you had to be there. You understand? You had to be there. You had to be there. All right, so let's just get straight into it now that I've got that up. So the match report: Chelsea 1, Benfica 0. So the first men's Champions League game at Stamford Bridge in 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Do you know what's mad, yeah? It felt like a very, very long time. And I don't know how to explain it. And then also you have to maybe it's because of the new ownership, but we were still in the Champions League when the owners took over. Like, I remember. So maybe it's the thing of, because of the transitional period, maybe it felt like we're supposed to be there in the Champions League, rightfully so, but it's like we're in the rebuilding phase. So maybe being in the Champions League at that time wasn't a good thing. I know it sounds mad to say, but sometimes you have to build up slowly, and then boom. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the first men's Champions League game at Stamford Bridge in 2.5 years ended in victory for the Blues as we defeated Benfica 1-0. All right, and I think it's a good thing, and it's powerful, and it should be able to motivate the players and also the supporters, like the real supporters. Because when I say real supporters, all those that, I'm not saying if you don't go to Stamford Bridge, you don't, you know what I mean? So you're not a real supporter. But I'm saying, as if you genuinely go to the games, you know what I mean? Especially the home games, you should be able to be as a supporter. I don't even use the word fan anymore. As a supporter, you support your players, you support the club, you encourage. You know what I mean? It's all fair and game to criticize here and there, which is fine, but you still have to encourage at the same time. You understand? And even if you're online, on social media, whatever the case may be careful with the word you're using when you're trying to criticize a player or the manager or the coaching staff or the owners. Do you know what I mean? It's that obviously everything's coming from a good place, from a good place, but the reality is sometimes it can actually affect those you're mentioning in a negative way. Do you understand? So if you're a supporter, you know what I'm saying? But the whole point I'm trying to say in regards to this is this should be able to lift up Stamford Bridge, and we start roaring to next levels, like next levels, to the point where Stamford Bridge is an intimidating place for every single club that come to play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It's not just the team itself, it's the atmosphere. You understand? Anyway, let's keep it moving. All right, so the deciding goal came from Benfica's Richard Rios, who he also played in the Club World Cup when he was playing for another team. But let's not divert, because he already diverted into his own net on the 18 minutes for some good play from Pedro Neto and Alejandro Garnacho. Do you understand? From Alejandro Garnacho. That left-hand side, yeah, the way Garnacho looks like a fresher breath there. I can't even lie. On that left side, he looked like a breath of fresh air. No disrespect to Mudryk, Gittins has just more or less arrived. So get me, there's no disrespect there. But because of Alejandro Garnacho's experience as well, and I feel like he just has that. I'm not. It's hard to say. Let me not, because if I'm saying what I'm saying, sometimes it may seem like I'm dismissing the other person. But I feel like he's in a different space, if that makes sense, in comparison. So maybe I don't know. I don't explain. I don't know. And given his age and his experience, maybe I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but the connection between Pedro Neto and Alejandro Garnacho was great to see. Do you know what I mean? They were tearing up the wings tearing up their wing, because they would even look. Benfica were leaving up so many spaces, yeah. And I was thinking, yo, imagine, yeah, if this was like in the middle of the season, or you know what I mean, the middle of the season, I'm telling you, we would have scored more goals. And I know that sounds wild to say, but you have to consider it's still early on in the season, and at the same time, there's confidence, there's the amount of times certain players are played with each other and trained with each other, so they know each other's like football IQ in and out of the pitch. Do you know what I mean? That's why I kind of missed the Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer link up. Do you know what I mean? But it's all good. Cole Palmer can link up with Estevao and Pedro Neto can link up with Alejandro Garnacho. Gittins can link up with literally anyone. Excuse me, yo. But anyway, whoa, let me calm down because yeah, bear with me, people, because I ain't trying to repeat a particular situation. You know what I'm saying? So pray for me, people. Anyway, the Blues were relatively comfortable for much of the contest after Robert Sanchez early save to deny Dodi Lokobakio. If I mispronounced that name, forgive me. Although there was a late disappointment as João Pedro saw red for a second yellow card. We might have to talk about this disciplinary issue. Yeah? In fact, no, let me talk about it here right now, while we have this opportunity. That's possibly the third time this season so far a player has been sent off. Is there a disciplinary issue? Yes, I'm gonna say so. Is it a immaturity thing? No, I'm not gonna say so. I do think that Maresca can resolve this problem. And the best thing I can suggest is, at the end of the day, we already know that referees, whether it's from PGMOL or UEFA, do you know what I mean? Any of these referees will have it against us regardless. So the manager needs to let these players know that you have to keep your head. Keep your head. Now, obviously, there is a situation where in some unfortunate circumstances, some opponents can try to manipulate the referee or the fourth officials into making a decision. Do you get it? Like, that can unfortunately happen. And in that case, the manager needs to make sure, like Enzo Maresca needs to 100% make sure every single player knows that they need to do their job, do everything possible to get a win. So, like a proper, not let me do a proper, a win to the point that is undeniable, that regardless if decisions go against our way, we still secure that win. Do you get it? That's the only way I can think of, because the reality is, unfortunately, for a very long time, I don't even know when it started. I might have to do some deep research into where did it start against, like, Chelsea against the world. Like, where and when did it start? You understand? When did it start? When? But all right, cool. You want us to be against the world? We will be against the world. You understand? Anyway, so that means João Pedro's going to miss the game against Ajax, which now it's going to be a thing of if Liam Delap ain't back in time, which I don't, it's hard to say whether he will be back in time enough for that game. But Mark Gu, aka Guile from Street Fighter, if you know, you know, he should start. But knowing Maresca, he's more likely to start Tyreek George. More than likely. So anyway, 5 changes. Speaking of Maresca, five changes were made. Yeah, Enzo Maresca made 5 alterations to his lineup as Reece James, Yara Hato, Andre Santos, Estaval, and João Pedro dropped out of the side with Malagotso, Benro Badashil, uh, Bowanate, Garnacho, and Tyreek George starting. The back four and midfield duo were expected with the academy graduate George to lead the line. And it's mad when I look at it, I'm like, Tyreek George isn't a striker. He isn't a number 9. So I'm confused to why Enzo Maresca has seen him that way. But I'm going to give Enzo Maresca the benefit of the doubt here only because we don't know what he sees in training. You understand? We don't know what he sees in training because clearly he is picking the first 11 and obviously the bench based on what he sees in training. Plus, think about it. Like what else can he do? We didn't invest into buying another striker. So what else can he do? And it's funny because George was on the verge of leaving. So had he not left, yeah. I mean, had he left, Mark Gu would have been the only real option. Like, yeah, it's mad when I think about the transfer situation, but we could talk about that another time, innit? So Bowanate playing the number 10 role and Nacho off the left. Bowanate, aka Crash Bandicoot. That's his nickname, and I'm sticking by it. All right. If you know about Crash Bandicoot, you know. Anyway, so look at the side here, man. Maddie Shield. Wait. This ain't the side that's that. Okay, it is. I'm just confused. Because I'm thinking, isn't that Dario Sugo? Then I'm like, no, it can't be. Oh, man. Anyway, so Chelsea started brightly as Enzo Fernandez flashed a shot wide inside the opening 3 minutes. And that, by the way, that's not to say all black people are the same, by the way. So don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even with there was one player that in the under 21s that looks like a Cole Palmer. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible how some people can look alike. Like even like the facial expressions, it's like the same. It's the same. But do they play the same? Do they play in the same position? That's what I want to know. And we'll find out. Give me. This is what we're here for. Chelsea started brightly as Enzo Fernandez flashed a shot inside the opening 3 minutes. Enzo Fernandez haters, where you at? But Benfica quickly showed they carried a threat as Sanchez was forced to a direct shot from Luke Bacchio on the near post and out of the corner. All right, out for a corner. Garnacho was next to go to close as he dragged the shot from inside the penalty area wide, but the game was end to end in the opening stages as a wayward pass from the Blues allowed Georgi Stadakov into the area to have a tame effort saved. His name, Sadakov's name, was mentioned so many times yesterday, or so many times in this game. I was like, who is this brother? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man. Garnacho was next to go close as he dragged a shot from inside the penalty area wide, but the game was end-to-end in the opening stages as a wayward pass from the Blues allowed Sadikov into the area having a tame effort. Okay, I read that. Fine, cool. But an excellent couple of minutes from Pedro Neto saw the Portuguese light up the bridge. First, he drove inside from the right touchline and flashed a powerful low shot narrowly wide of the far post from 20 yards out, which had the fans off their seat. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, on the left and the right, get me, Pedro Neto, so left, Canacho and Pedro Neto on the right, was tearing up the league. Tearing up the league. You know, like tearing up the league. Anyway, and when the opening goal, yeah, this is important because this was the opening goal. And then it was his in-swinging cross as my bad. And then it was his in-swinging cross a minute later, which was to create the opening goal as he picked out Garnacho at the far post as the summer signing volleyed past across a 6-yard box, which was diverted into his own goal by Richard Rios. And I want to say something here. You see, when it comes to playing against low block teams, yeah, because Benfica is a low block team, Jose Mourinho, he's the master and the king of low blocks. Yeah, everyone got that stuff. No, I don't want to say everyone got that stuff from him, but more or less they did. Do you know what I mean? And the way that Benfica was playing, not to say that I felt that was going to score a goal. I doubted it very much. My prediction was 1-0 anyway. Like, it genuinely was 1-0. Like, that was my prediction. I predicted Bowanate to score. Like, I don't know. That was just my prediction, right? But I just felt in this game, it was going to be tight regardless. Do you know what I mean? Knowing the atmosphere, knowing it's like a homecoming reunion type of vibe, and knowing how Mourinho is, you know what I mean? Like how he sets up his teams. Like I knew it's not gonna be easy. I knew it wasn't gonna be easy. Don't ever get that twisted. But I just felt that it's gonna be like 1-0. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but let me know what your predictions were in the comments below. What was your predictions? Be honest. Did you think we were going to draw? Did you think we were going to lose? Or did you think we were going to win? And if you, give me your exact prediction. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, I wonder if I can actually show you my prediction. Like, I kid you not. In fact, maybe I should show you my prediction. I don't know. I can read it out because I don't know if I can actually, if it will show on the screen properly. My prediction. Let me go to it real quick on the app. Okay, hold on. I'm on the wrong. Okay. Play predictor. I'm not going to play the predictor yet. All right. So my score. My scored. She says you scored a total of 47 points. All right. So I predict. So the predict score. The score was obviously 1-0. I said 1-0. I wish I can actually show you. I don't even know if you can see that. I'm not even playing about you when I say this. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. But anyway, irrespective if you can or not. So well done. You got it exactly right. 25 points. All right. Who's going to score the first goal for Chelsea? Result, no scorer because obviously it was an own goal. You said Bowanate. So there was no Chelsea goal scorer in this match. 0 points. All right. So in which minute would the first in which minute would the first Chelsea goal be scored? Result, no minutes because obviously it was an own goal. No Chelsea player scored. You said 42 minutes. There was no Chelsea goal scorer in this match. 0 points. All right. Watch this. How many shots will Chelsea have overall? Result, 8. I also said 8. So well done. You got it exactly right. 10 points. How many Chelsea shots will be on target? Result, 3. I said 5. So close. You were 2 shots away. 3 points. What overall possession will Chelsea have? Result 56%. You said, or I said, 54%. Do you see how close I am? That I'm either on point or on close. All right. So very close. You get some points for that answer, 4 points. Now, how many Chelsea corners will there be? Result 3. You said 4. Very close. You get some points for that answer. Do you understand? Do you understand? I got it close, all right? Hear me? I got it close. So let's keep it moving. So when I said the other day that Chelsea, the world champions, can become the youngest title holders or champions, or you know what I mean? Who knows whether I'll get that prediction right? I believe in my team. Do you? Do you? If you believe in our team, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications because more content will be on the way in regards to Chelsea Football Club as a whole. And obviously, I've got other pieces of content. It's not just to do with football. There's other things. If you're interested in that, more content in regards to that. Trust me, we do it diverse around here. Get me? Anyway, so there's an imagery of, how the own goal was scored. Yeah, I mean, clear-cut chances became harder to come by as the half wore, and it wasn't until the 42nd minute that Chelsea next went close. Can I ask you a particular question? In what minute did I predict Chelsea would score a goal? Even though I knew it would be 1-0, but what minute did I say? Let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. 42 minutes. I kid you not. Obviously, it didn't go in. And obviously, the person that was close, it says here, hold on, was Badashil from a headed Neto free kick over the bar from 8 yards out. So I was close, all right? Once again, that's actually amazing. I'm actually quite stunned. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to boast or anything like that. I'm actually genuinely stunned. Do you understand? Genuinely stunned. The scoreline I wasn't stunned about, but these other intricate things, no, I'm stunned. I'm very well stunned right now. All right, the Blues went close again. And once more before the break, as George managed the word tracing, managed a shot goalwards under pressure, but Anatoly Trubin was able to make a routine save, and we had to settle for the 1-0 at the interval. All right, so Benfica also forced Sanchez into a couple of stops early in the second period, but on both occasions, the offside flag was raised, so a goal wouldn't have counted. And hear me out, yeah? This is how I believe. Because you know what's mad, yeah? There was a time from last season, even, where our club was in a position where we were ensuring that the oppositions were in so many offside positions. Like the defense was so impeccable. Like it was just impeccable. So I believe whatever the coaching staff has said and helped them work on in training, it worked in this game. It genuinely worked in this game. And I believe going forward, it will continue to work in future. Do you know what I mean? Especially for this season and season thereafter. You understand? Like, that's my personal belief. Because there was, I don't know how many offsides there was in this game for that Benfica had. I don't know how many offsides, but it was very interesting the amount of offsides I was seeing on that. Okay. For me, that's a sign of great defending. Now, here's the thing. There's not to say that we've the opposition for other teams have been in offside position. Could look at Brentford, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? We can't go back and change the scoreline. Otherwise, we would have won that game 2-1. But who knows? Maybe in future, referees will be actually fair, neutral, and understand when it's offside. You check it properly, and you can see that it's offside. And if it was a goal that was scored, they rule that off for offside. You understand? Simple things. All right. So Benfica forced okay. So yeah, we mentioned that. So Chelsea then enjoyed a positive spell as a counter ended Garnacho shooting over the bar from distance, and Neto drove inward, beating several defenders before having a shot blocked. If I remember correctly, Garnacho had an opportunity to pass the ball. I think he had an opportunity to pass it to Onochie-Obayuwana as well, I believe. I think if memory serves me correct, and that frustrated me. I can't even lie. Because I'm like, yo, pass the ball, bruv. There's a moment to pass the ball where someone's in an open space. You know what I mean? But I get it. Sometimes you know what I mean? It's what it is. It's the same thing with Gittins. It's like he was doing too many step overs, but he will break out of that shell. Do you know what I mean? And like Gittins will break out of that shell doing too many step overs. I think it's just a confidence thing. He wants to get, you know what I mean? Like once he got his full on confidence, he's gonna be from Gittins to Littins. That will be his new nickname. Like I predict that's gonna happen. And it will happen this season. I don't know when it will happen, but it will happen. He will go from Gittins to Littins. That will be his nickname. Littins. Get me? It's lit. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So all smiles from Enzo Fernandez, obviously. Estaval, Jamie Gittins, and João Pedro were all introduced early in the second half as the Blues went in search for a second goal. Again, see, this is what I'm about to say in regards to Jamie Gittins. Yeah, so I already said what I had to say about Jamie Gittins. Just continue to encourage him, support him. Like if you can support Mudryk, do you know what I mean? Timo Werner, you know what I mean? Like, let's talk about Mudryk instead because he's the you know what I mean? He's the left winger as well. So it's like you supported him because what? He was showing signs that he wanted to improve, he wanted to do great. What about Jamie Gittins? The time he gets his chances, he's doing all that. He's doing what he can. He's having chances. He's creating opportunity. Like, he's taking on players. And I get it. In some cases, he loses the ball. But guess what? You see that goal that was conceded against West Ham? You know that was because of a mistake that Stefan William made. He lost the ball. But none of you get on him about it. Oh, what? Because he brings a different level of excitement. Okay, I get it. But what? Man is only 18 years old. But guess what? Jamie Gittins is what? Only 21, 22? Yeah, he's like 21. Like, I get it. If he was like 26 or 27, then it's okay to, I don't even say it's okay to criticize a player in the way that some people criticize. It's too harsh. But then I get it. You know what I mean? The same way Raheem Sterling's getting a lot of backlash and all that stuff there. Cool. Like, we get it because we've seen Raheem Sterling having great moments. And then obviously his form has declined over the years, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, so some of you guys just need to relax. Just relax. Anyway, so Neto continued to offer a threat on the right, and other dangerous in-swinging cross had to be headed away from the arriving pack at the far post. Taval, who showed some bright moments after his arrival, saw a header from Enzo Fernandez cross saved, but his Benfica was applied the late, but it was Benfica who applied the late pressure. This is why I feel like we also need, once we score one goal, we have to go and score another goal or another 2 goals. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I believe we need to do. We can't just score one goal. And obviously, we were attempting, we were trying. It is what it is. I can't even dispute that. I can't dispute that. We were actually actively trying. It's not like we were trying to sit back. And you know what I mean? So, and this is why in this game, and even though, yeah, we went down to 10 minutes late, this time, if you think about it, What did Enzo Maresca do? He brought on attackers. Do you get it? He brought on attackers. So, and they were in search of a second goal. That's what needs to happen. Not always bringing on defenders or, you know what I mean? The pressure was still piling on from Benfica, but at least we soaked in that pressure. You know what I mean? We soaked in that pressure like world champions do. All right. All right. So Chelsea were relatively comfortable though as the game drew towards a close, although there was disappointment in the final moments as João Pedro high boot led to a second yellow card and he was dismissed. Now, what this means, after 2 games, Chelsea are currently 17th place in the Champions League standings as of this article. Let's be real. Could be higher. I thought we were 8th, but could be. It is what it is. There are 6 more games to go with the top 8 progressing straight into round 16. This banner is one of the coldest banners in football history. This banner is one of the coldest banners in football history. Do you know what? I might have to see if I can try and find a way to use this image for the background. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about Chelsea. Because this imagery is too wavy. It's too cold. It's too lit. No. We're the only club that can do that. Because we've won it all. These are all the trophies we have won. And we'll continue to win them all. Again and again and again and again and again. Nah, this banner's cold. Like, shout out to all the people that make banners, yeah? Especially the Chelsea Football Club ones. Like, you guys are real G's. You guys are real G's. Like, real creative, real G's. Like, nah, cold. All right, so what's next? Next up, the Blues is Saturday's home game with the Premier League leaders, Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, which kicks off at 5:30. Get me, and will be shown on Sky Sports in the UK. Our next Champions League match will also be at the Bridge against Ajax on the 22nd of October. Yeah, Liam Delap ain't going to be back for that, unfortunately. Knowing the timeline now, I'm thinking, yeah, he's not going to be back for that. He's probably going to be back mid-December. I rebuke that. He'll be back by mid-November or late November. That's my predictions. I mean, with the type of injury that he received, you know what I mean? And knowing how eager he is to recover quickly and knowing that his dad was a former footballer, like professional, and we got good medical staff, you know what I mean? I'm sure he will be able to get back quicker. But the problem is, knowing how Maresca is, he will probably introduce him back slowly into the fold, like slowly, making sure that he's confident, but also, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, it is what it is. That's why I was surprised about the Cole Palmer situation. Because I'm like, the way he bubble wraps Reece James, I'm thinking when it comes to any injury of any player, he would do the same thing. So the Cole Palmer situation just got me frazzled. I'm thinking, what's going on? And you said it blatantly that he's one of our key players. Not that verbatim, but like he's mentioned it. Like, we are a different side and a better side with Cole Palmer. So wouldn't it be better to bubble wrap Cole Palmer if he's injured? And I get it. Some players may act like they may not be injured, but listen, that incident against AC Milan in the preseason friendly, do you know what I mean? It's from that moment he should have been taken off. He should have been assessed, and he should have been in a situation where it's like, all right, cool, look. Because I get it, the referee may have not given a free kick at the time, but if our manager's seeing this, our coaching staff is seeing this, and the fans are seeing it, and obviously Cole Palmer was within that action, and he was a victim of that foul. Like, maybe he should have said, like, at half. When did that? I'm trying to think what time that happened. He should have just been like, "How you doing?" Or is it that way? Hey, boss. You know what I mean? Yo, boss, take me off. Take me off. Take me off. Get me? Because I swear we were at that point, we were already winning anyway. So it's not like it was necessary. Plus, it's only a friendly. It's only to build up minutes and stuff of that nature because we didn't really have a proper preseason. So I get it, but that's the other reason why he should have been taken off. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, because even when that happened, I remember. I remember. Like, we got Crystal Palace next. We can't afford for him to get injured. Crystal Palace are a tough side, and come to look at it, they were a tough side. Look, they beat the team that we're playing next. How about that? How about that? They beat the team that we're about to play next. And right now, do you know what I mean? As of this recording or whatever you want to call it, you hear me, on the 1st of October 2025, they are unbeaten. You understand? So what does that say? Anyway, so I mentioned that. So the teams that played: Sanchez, Gotso, James came on an 80th minute, Chadabar, Badishil, Archimpong came on an 80th minute, Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Neto, Bomonete, Staval came on the 54 minutes, Garnacho and Gittins came on the 61st minute, George and then Yao Pedro came on at the 61st minute. All right, so the substitutions that were not used was Jorgensen, Merrick, Harrow, and Lavia, Walsh, and Gu. Bookings. Listen, we ain't even gonna read all that. You see what it is. I ain't gonna read about. Yeah, we're not gonna read all that stuff. There's literally no point. The attendance was 38,636, which is a high amount, but we need a bigger stadium. I want to be seeing something like 100,000 or something crazy or that number in attendance for a Champions League night at Stamford Bridge. Now, we ain't going to, I don't want to say we don't want to move to Earl's Court, but if we do that, I want us to be in a situation where we still have that Stamford Bridge sound. Do you understand? The banging of the gate. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Get me? Anyway. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on the game so far. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game. How Enzo Maresca beat Jose Mourinho's Benfica. We're gonna look into George Benson's versions of events and see what his thoughts are, and then also Chelsea Fan TV, and also get into Blue Lions TV as well. So bear with me. Bear with me for a second. But while you wait, I need you to make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because now you've got enough time to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification and leave comments. All right. All right, I'm back. Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. We're gonna make it a blue day. La 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 la. Listen, you had ample time to be able to hit that subscribe button, right? So shout out to everyone that has, hit the subscribe button. Yeah. And listen, if you're into, I'll get into the whole Diddy situation another time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait till, yeah. So make sure you stay subscribed, and obviously in regards to Tupac as well, another situation. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications because content in regards to these type of things is on the way. That's all I can say. It's on the way. All right. So, the first thing we're gonna go to right now is Chelsea Fan TV. If I have not subscribed to this channel on this channel, it's gonna get me upset. Oh, I have subscribed. I was about to say, bruv, but why have I not hit the that's why. I was wondering why am I not getting the notifications? This is what you need to do. Hit the bell notifications. All right, so let's go. What's the okay? Where's the latest one? We need the latest one. Let's go to. Let me go to the first one. But yeah, let's go to this one. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to say it one more time.
The all-new iPhone 17 Pro is here. All out Pro. With O2, save up to £794.
Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. We're outside Stamford Bridge after a 1-0 victory against Benfica in the Champions League. Mourinho is back. One of his great sayings was, you can have the ball, we'll take all the points. Today we had the ball and we took the points as well.
Yeah, I'll be real, it was a bit crazy to see us doing backs to the wall against Benfica like that, but when you see all of the circumstances surrounding this season and the amount of times we've spoken about the minutes we played, Club World Cup, lack of a pre-season, 9 or 10 injuries going into the season, I'm going to take a 1-0 and run with it. Especially when we yet again go down to 10 men towards the end, which is fucking typical Chelsea at this point. Just give me the 3 points and run with it. This game wasn't anything to just be amazed about. There wasn't anything to really take from a mad, optimistic perspective. This is just get me through this week and run. That's been my whole vibe for this week. I've been saying it on all my streams leading up to the 2 games. Just leave these 2 games with something and go to the international break. As soon as we come back, we've got the likes of Fofana back, we've got the likes of Tosin back, we've got the likes of Cole Palmer back. We're going to be infinitely better for the games ahead. I just need to get through this week. Half of the job's been done. Not in the most attractive of fashions. I know people are going to complain about how boring the football was and the sideways and backwards play and all of that. I don't care. We won. We've kept everybody fit. I don't give a damn. We know why.
Simple. It's simple. Let's get back to basics. Let's just win the game. Simple. If you have to do a grab and take thing, you know what I mean? I forgot what the word is, but if we have to do that, then do that. So, and yeah, he's right. In regards to everything, it's let's just take this. You know what I mean? It just makes sense. And obviously, he's right about the international break, because soon after that, certain key players will be back. So, yeah, man, let's keep it moving now.
Why we play this style of football is to protect the players' fitness. It's done for another game. Cool. Move to the next one. That's it.
I mean, do you see any similarities in terms of the fact that we won the game but it wasn't pretty? Do you see any similarity to the Lincoln game? Because a lot of people were saying similar things.
Yes, but obviously Lincoln, you're going to expect a little bit more in it, just based off the level of the opposition. Benfica, obviously you still want to dominate them, but at least it's a Champions League level side. Lincoln's League One, and we still should have applied ourselves a lot better. You could argue even in some areas we could have applied ourselves better in this one. First 10 minutes was a bit iffy in both halves. That left-hand side, Gittins and Garnacho, I'm going to be talking about this all season. We could have got a centre-back or a goalkeeper over the pair of them. But whatever, it's done now.
We need. This is what I was talking about earlier, by the way. This is what I was talking about, especially with Gittins. This is what I was talking about. Allow it. It's how many games into the season, and you're criticizing Gittins harshly already. You're criticizing Garnacho already. Already. What do you mean? In this, let's talk about this game. Yeah. In this game, they both tried. In this game, Garnacho actually forced us to score a goal. Well, it was our own goal, which allowed us to win that game. So call it what you want. So you could say, if we didn't get Garnacho, who knows what the score could have been in this game? Who knows? Do you get a point? Like, what's the point in saying we could have got a centre back? Relax. Leave Alcoa. The only reason why the owners have not gone to get a centre back and a goalkeeper. Okay, the goalkeeper we were looking into, but because Sanchez was putting in such a great performance, it's like, do we really need to? And we want to save money as well. But at the same time, if we can get Mike Mannion on a free, cool. But then we also got Mike Penders that is potentially going to be fighting for the goalkeeper jersey for us as well. So you got to look at things in certain perspective. You got to look at it as a whole. You can't just base it on the season ahead, which would make sense. But sometimes you got to look at it from other seasons. Like, there's a reason why it's called a Chelsea project, for a reason. There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? We just happened to win the Club World Cup and the Conference League in the process and qualify for the Champions League for this season. You know what I mean? We just happened to. You know what I mean? We just happened to, which was good. You know what I mean? So always nice winning trophies. But yeah, let's go.
It is what it is. It really just is what it is. Like, we just take the 2 wins, ideally, God willing, for Saturday. And then hopefully with the next 4 games that we have ahead, the likes of Wolves, the likes of Tottenham away, likes of Nottingham Forest away under Ange, High Line, all of that, we should be a lot better.
I mean, you talk about Garnacho and Gittins. Gittins came on, talked to me about his impact, and also, even though you say that about a centre-back, Garnacho was the reason that we won the game. He got the assist for the goal. Without that, we wouldn't have won.
I thought off the ball he was good first half. The second half, it was just, you see him on the ball a bit more, and I was just frustrated. And then Gittins comes on, and it's the exact same thing. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the negatives, because we have just won a game. It's our first win in about 4 matches. I want to just focus on that, but yo, that's alarming. That is very alarming. Neither one of them really provided any brazy impact over the other. Whatever, you're going to get better. You're going to continue to improve. But I can't shake the idea. We could have just got a centre-back or a goalkeeper over both of them. And that's just...
All right, everyone that says that we should have got a centre-back and a centre-back, which centre-back? And from where? Oh, what? Margay? All right, Fairs is a former Chelsea player, but let's keep it all the way 100. It's a thing of, if we were to get him, I'm not going to say would he start, but it would be a thing where it's so magic, because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. And would he want to return back to us? And knowing that we could potentially sign him also on a free as well. I mean, he was potentially going to go to Liverpool, but like that fell through. But like, you know, it is what it is. But what other centre back would have come to Chelsea? And as far as goalkeeper, don't even talk about Donnarumma, because do you know what I mean? The rumours were, it was rumours, but the rumours were he's on a high contract anyway, the high wages. So Chelsea are not going to sign him. And he doesn't fit the way that Maresca wants us to play. So why sign him? Do you get it? That's saying.
going to keep winding me up.
Did you see signs of that today, that we needed a centre-back or a goalkeeper?
Not in this game.
I mean, to be fair, we did see it from Sanchez. I mean, we saw a couple of passes
Second half, standard Sanchez. I'm used to that shit at this point. At least it didn't count for anything. In terms of defensively, look, I think we were sloppy first 10 minutes of both halves, but bar that, I didn't think we got pressured that much. First half, they were threatening us a lot on the break, but we kept doing well with the final end product, and they weren't really doing too much either. And then for the most part, it's just more about distribution. Chalobah had some iffy long passes, some ones are actually decent. Badiashile, I thought, was great when he had the ball at his feet, but we know he's great with the ball at his feet. We're going to see the real test for Badiashile on Saturday. But that's a nice little warm-up. At least I know I ain't got to worry about you spraying passes left or right and anything like that. I just want to see what you got when you're facing the likes of Ekatike and Isak over wherever the hell we played today.
What about in terms of the defensive outlet without the ball? How do you think we defended today?
Got caught out a couple of times. Defo, I don't want to say took our foot off the gas, but more like we tried to keep control after the goal. And that's going to make people think that we're a bit worse defensively. I don't think we were worse. I just think as soon as we got the goal, it became about conserving the ball, conserving players' fitnesses, and just really seeing the game out. Because we didn't need to exert any more energy than we already had just to go 1-0 up. Because what, you want to cause another injury, or do you want to tire out the rest of the squad? We just saw Caicedo and Enzo play the majority of this game again, and then they're going to have to play again on Saturday. So be boring, be lazy, I don't mind. I'm absolutely fine with that. Just win. And thankfully we did that, even down to 10.
Yeah, because when I spoke with you the other day, obviously you've been very angry about the reaction from a lot of fans, especially regarding Enzo Maresca. You've spoken about his record in terms of when we've had 11 men on the pitch, how many games we've lost. It's actually not that many in the grand scheme of things. But you know, there still seems to be a little bit of frustration at times when we pass the ball backwards, when we don't look as direct as match-going fans might want. Is there a level of empathy from your side, and what's your message to fans about Maresca and this season as a whole? Do you think that this is going to continue, this style of football?
Well, while we have the amount of midweek games that we do, and also lack of pre-season, injuries, all of that, you're going to see boring games of football, or like games where we just play conservative. Now, I do get it a little bit, because you do stand there in the ground and you think, oh, it would be nice if we just tried to move the ball a bit quicker. But I understand, this is the situation that we're in. It's ultimately a results-based business. As long as you're getting the results, as long as you're winning the games, I don't really care too much about that. And then even...
It's facts. Like, yeah, mate, in some instances, we would want things to look good on the eye. It would make sense. But what makes more sense is the results. So long as we're winning the games, so this is where it becomes a bit like, I don't know, because you know when it comes down to the fact that we now have, it's not like we didn't have a midweek game before, because we had a midweek game when we were playing in the Conference League. Yeah, so I'm saying that in regards to Enzo Maresca being at the helm. So I feel like, put it this way, I feel like Enzo Maresca this is going to sound wild, but it's facts. Because he even said himself, I feel like Enzo Maresca is still learning. And the players are still learning, most of them. So you have to give him a bit of a blast still. I can't even lie. You know what I mean? So if they play boring football and they get the results, it is what it is. Don't criticize. Don't criticize. Just be grateful that we got the points. Be grateful. That's what should ultimately be the thing. I mean, obviously, it can be frustrating if, a player it looks like they're doing well, but then they flop towards the final third. It can be a bit frustrating, or it can be frustrating when, certain players in certain positions make mistakes, but it doesn't end up in a mistake that affects or impacts the game negatively. So that's another thing. So if we got the result, and like for example in this situation, we won 1-0, it is what it is, isn't it? Like we won. You know what I mean? It was, in fact, it was even more important that we did win this game because we lost our first Champions League game, like the opening game against Bayern Munich. We got slapped up like what, 3-1. And in that game, we actually played better. We lost, but we played better. I mean, we still made some, like the goals they scored was only because of the mistakes that we made. And obviously, because of their quality, they ended up just doing what they did. And it is what it is. It's basically just an eye-opener, just saying, welcome back to the Champions League, which is fine. We lost that. Cool. Next game. Yeah, me, Stamford Bridge, Benfica, come on, let's go. And then we ended up winning that game. Get me? It would have, obviously, for the league table situation, obviously now you have to think about a goal difference and all that stuff there. But for now, let's just focus on the points. You know what I mean? Let's focus on the points, getting the points on the board. Yes, to be qualified to the next round. That's the most important thing that leads us to winning the Champions League for the third time. That's the most important thing. Yeah? So don't worry about how we win or what. You know, just
even then, you look at the amount of goals that we've conceded this season and the type of goals, it's all our own doing for the most part.
What did I say?
Even if it's boring, if we just keep our heads switched on, we don't concede those types of goals, and then we don't care at the end of it either. And then we're getting the results. So even if it's boring, who gives a shit? Just win the games and don't be stupid at the back, and we ain't got to worry about nothing.
It's interesting.
Right.
Oh, go on.
No, you're good, you're good.
I was going to say, with the midfield, like, again, Enzo, Caicedo were in there, probably two of our better players today. But there does come a time where you're going to need other people to slot in those positions. Last season we had Dewsbury Hall who filled in. I know Lavia's coming back, but it's difficult to rely on him. That must concern you a little bit when you see the amount of games that we've got coming. Are you worried about any of those players getting injured?
Only Lavia, really. Caicedo looks like he's made a fucking steal. Like, whatever happens, his brother's going to be fit.
Nah, for real. Caicedo does look like he's made that steal because it's like 1 minute he's injured. It looked like he's injured on the field, yeah? I kid you not. There's been times when I've seen he looked like he's injured on the field. But after a while, he just gets up and he's fine. Or the next game, he's fine. Like, he may limp a bit. You know what I mean? Like, towards the end of the game. But then the next game, like, he's just ready and raring to go. Like, he's a machine. If you thought Kante was a machine, Caicedo is a machine times 2. I don't know how to explain it. I genuinely don't know how to explain it. And I'm obviously praying for Darius Hugo's, health and fitness to help. You know what I mean? Let him recover quickly because Caicedo 100% needs a break as well. But like, Hugo is his Caicedo 2.0 as well. So it's like, imagine when he comes in, it's just incredible. And Santos can play that role as well. That's another thing. He can play both roles, Enzo Fernandez's role and Caicedo's role. But yeah, Caicedo seems like he's made that still. It just seems like that. You know what I mean? Get me? I don't know.
And play a full 90. And to be honest, same energy goes for Enzo Fernandez at this point. Lavia's the only question because regardless of how much you ease him into the team, he just seems to get injured at the end of it. But I don't really believe that players are just guaranteed to be injury prone all of their lives. And Lavia comes back and shows levels immediately, so I don't really mind. I'll be patient with you. My unwritten rule when it...
This is the thing about injuries. It's hard to say whether someone's injury prone or how they get injured. Some things, injury is a thing that is so unfortunate and so unlucky. It really is. It genuinely is. But look, we're in a fortunate position where we're at. Chelsea Football Club are in a fortunate position. We have the funds and the resources to be able to have great medical staff to be able to help the players recover quickly. You understand? That's as simple as it gets. And not only that, I think if Enzo Maresca continues to do what he does for Reece James, but he applies that to other players that get injured and ease them back into the squad, do you understand? Then I guarantee the players that often are seen as injury prone, they won't be as injury prone, if that makes any sense, because their body is managed in a way that can cope with certain type of games. You understand? Obviously, that's not to say that certain players can't play in the big games because of their potentially being injured or whatever the case may be. But the manager's just got to find a way. That's all it essentially comes down to, with certain players once they come back into the squad. That's essentially what gets. So I'm trying to share this as well. So give me a second. Like reshare. You know what I mean? As I'm reacting to their content, especially Chelsea Fan TV. In fact, am I even following them on Facebook? I am actually not, which is actually a surprise. Well, I follow them now. Anyway,
It comes to injury-prone players. As long as you come in and you hit levels immediately, I don't really care like that. I'll back you through it.
No. That's unfair. That's unfair. You can't expect a player that's coming back from injury to hit levels immediately. Just because some players can do that doesn't mean all players can do that. Just give them the time to be able to hit the levels. Sometimes it can take 2 or 3 games. Sometimes it can be 10 games. But it is what it is. It genuinely is what it is, really.
To come in and like immediately show me why we've missed you. The likes of Chilwell, the likes of Kovacic, they couldn't do that. That's why I wasn't really as patient. But for a Reece James,
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do Chilly like that. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's genuinely not fair. That's genuinely not fair. You see the type of injury that Chilly got? Well, one of the main injuries that he got. I genuinely think it affected his gameplay. And because it affected his gameplay and the fact that he was on high wages, do you understand? There's certain situations that transpire in it. So it is what it is. But now he's part of Strasbourg. Again, part of the Blue Coal. He's still part of the Blue Coal family. So it is what it is. Don't do Chilly like that. This guy helped us win the Champions League. Now, what you did? Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to Chilly. Nah, don't do that to Chilly. Nah, I'm not having it. Don't do that to Chilly. Don't do that. Like, how did Chilly catch a stray? What? How and why? Why would Chilly catch a stray like that? And you got to remember, you see, it's not like we had Thomas Tuchel as a manager for like 10 years, for example, within that span of time when he was consistently injured. Because if that was the case, I guarantee you, you're seeing the same Chilly, you know what I mean? That with the Chilly and Reece James effect. Get me? Yeah, like the wing backs, you know what I'm saying? Like flying up and down the wings. Get me? Like they're just like mercenaries, you know what I mean? Like flying back in the defense, defending with resilience, you know what I mean? Crossing in boxes. Like, listen, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But obviously, unfortunately, the situation with Tuchel happened, didn't it? You know what I mean? Then we had Graham Potter, and then he wasn't playing Chilly in his best position. Oh man, I don't even want to get to a tangent about the whole Chilly situation. Get me?
a Lavia, for a Wesley Fofana, cool. Just I hope one day they'll stay fit.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of rotation from a number of positions. Well, Buonanotte coming in again. We saw Esteval coming off the bench as well. Would any of those players be in contention for Liverpool?
Esteval, definitely.
Yeah, not Buonanotte.
Hey, you, finance professional, scrolling YouTube because you're avoiding work? We've all been there. Budgeting, forecasting and replanning.
I don't
he had some decent moments, but not enough for me to say he should be starting. Not yet. But at least with Esteval, I know there's flair in his game. I know there's like a bit more like unpredictability when he's got the ball. and like he always tests the defenders. He always asks something of his fullback. So guaranteed, I think he's already our starting right winger. But when Onochie, not so much right now.
What would you make of the decision to start George up front again? Like I understand that obviously João Pedro needs to be rested, but it just seems like he never gets the ball. I see him calling for the ball so many times, getting in positions. By the way, Lewis, I think he could receive the ball. It seems to me like players aren't picking him out, or he's not demanding it enough. Like, where do we go with George in that position? Because I think he's got a good shot on him, but if you take that out of his game, I don't really see what he offers.
Same in the middle, but I think it's more squad politics. There's been rumours about Omega coming in January and like he going to Strasbourg. And if that's the case, he can't play a minute for us. So he's just here just to fill up a space. That's it. We'll know past January what the situation is. And if he doesn't go on loan anywhere, Maresca's wasted his time. If he does go on loan, that's why he never played for us. And that's the reason why you're seeing George as the depth up top. Ultimately, should have just kept Jackson, but here we are.
I don't understand why you see Mark.
We should have just kept Jackson, but could we though? Could we? He's already heading off on loan to Bayern Munich, and then we wanted to recall him back from loan, but I'm gonna say it, rightfully so. Man said, you guys didn't take me serious. The fan base are heavily criticizing me, so I'm gone. You want me out? Safe. Even in the Club World Cup situation, like you could, or not? No, it wasn't then. It was at Stamford Bridge when we had all the cuts even with the women's team. Like you could see, I feel like he was texting or someone. He was on his phone, and he just looked like he just wasn't there mentally. So when you're not there mentally, it is what it is. So it's like, all right, cool. And to be fair, it's one of those situations where we need to get. It's like because of the funds, because of the UEFA sanctions as well, that also didn't help. Like I reckon if the UEFA sanctions never happened, he would have stayed. Like there's literally no chance of him going to Bayern Munich or anywhere else because Maresca rates him highly. Like Maresca rates him highly, but Maresca's like, the door is open if you are unhappy. And you're not, and you won't get me. If you're unhappy and you want to leave, the door's open. It is what it is. So he walked through that door, got on the plane to Germany, and said, "See ya, don't want to be ya." You know what I mean? It's kind of ironic because he scored in the same night. You know what I mean? He scored. I think he scored his first goal for Bayern Munich in the Champions League. I think, ironically enough, isn't that his first Champions League goal? I don't even know. But yeah, I do believe there is politics in why Mark Guehi is not playing. I genuinely believe that. I don't think Maresca has full control on who starts. No, he has control on who starts, I believe, but I don't think he has full control on the players that he can genuinely select from. Do you get it? It's like, for example, if someone was to if someone was to buy you Skittles, for example, right? And then they took out all of, in fact, I don't want to use Skittles as an example. I'm going to use Smarties. If you know about Smarties, you know. Yeah? All right, so boom. It's like Smarties. You take out all the green color. You know what I mean? All the green color. And then, or they take out all the green color and then they give you the Smarties. And there's no green color. And that's what you have to take from. You've got no other choice. Or let me use another analogy. The analogy was in my head, but I forgot it now. Let me see if I can remember it. The other analogy is, imagine if you're in a situation where do you know what? The analogy's gone. That's, if you know, you know. Basically, that you got no other choice. Here's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, Oh no, that's the other analogy. It's another sweet analogy, is what it is, or candy if you're American. Like the Haribos. If you know about Haribos, you know those packet of Haribos here. The different mixes is what it is. But you know when some people offer you the Haribos there, and they've already eaten some of the Haribos, but they've taken all the cola bowls. They've had all the cola bowls. That's basically what it's like for Enzo Maresca. That's basically what it is, without sugarcoating it. Ironically, get me? No pun intended, but pun intended. You know. But yeah, let's keep moving.
You warming up. If there's no way that he's going to get any minutes, it just seems a bit cruel to me, if I'm totally honest with you. Like, you're just draining him.
Keep warm, innit? Like, I'd even go for a little jog here or there just to like keep the heat up and all that.
You don't see him getting any minutes then?
Not if he's meant to be going on loan, because we legally can't do it, because then he can't go on loan. He can't play for another club. So I just think all of our answers are going to be answered in January.
Yeah. What was your take on Mourinho coming back? Like, you must have been really excited to see him coming back.
Yes, lovely to see him back. Lovely to see the reception he got as well. Also happy to see that he didn't win at the end of it, because then you'd see even more toxicity around the fan base. But good to see him back. Good to see him not get any stick like when he was at Spurs and United. And yeah, it was a nice little moment still.
I'll be honest with you though, Cam was telling me, apparently Matthew Harding, there was quite a few people arguing about chanting his name. Should you chant Jose Mourinho? Should you appreciate a manager who's won you 3 Premier League titles? What's your take on that?
Yeah, doing it too much while he's still an opponent. Because I think the last 10 minutes we're just blaring out Mourinho's name and they're 1-0, it's only 1-0. Like, it's a bit mad, but...
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation.
One little chant before the game, chant after the game. Like, I don't really mind too much. Like, he's still the greatest manager in Chelsea history. Like, him and Abramovich is one of those things where even if fans might weaponize the chant, I still think you should chant their name every time you're at the bridge. I'd never be against it, just based off what they've done for the club. So I don't really want to turn it into a weapon. I don't really want to say it's been used like that either. So I just think it was nice in the moment, and at least we won, so it doesn't get used as anything else.
Sometimes it's just about appreciating a club legend. Why does that have to even be an agenda?
Exactly, but with where Chelsea's at, everything's going to be a fucking agenda at this point.
Maresca said that he would love for fans to sing his name again. What do you think he's got to do this season to make that happen?
It should already be the case. We won the World Cup. Like, I'll be real. Yeah. But he had the perfect reaction to that as well. Someone asked him if you want your face on the wall. He's like, my face already on the wall. I want a World Cup for this club. The fuck? And I think the same energy should be brought to these fans. We won a World Cup with Maresca in charge. We want to keep the same energy. Obviously, we want to win more. We want to succeed. We want to keep building on that. But let's not act like he's already not started building a name for himself at Chelsea. 2 trophies in the bag in your first year as a championship manager. That deserves to be respected in itself.
You think there's credit in the bank?
100%. And I think if it's any other manager or any manager with a CV, they would already have that credit. It's only because it's Maresca and because of the boring football that he doesn't have it.
Well, that's the thing, though. Mourinho used to do that. So,
and Mourinho won trophies. You see why I call it hypocritical? Won trophies playing boring football, and we were fine with it. Another won trophies, we play boring football, and we bitch about it.
Maybe we need that Premier League. That's what it is.
I agree, but man ain't going to start debunking the World Cup in front of my eyes. That's a major honour as well.
What day is it?
78, I think. I might be wrong.
80.
Somewhere around the 75s, 80s.
Take 78 as Club
Yeah,
World
we're
Cup
going to
champ.
take it and run with it. Come on, man.
Good to see you, buddy.
So if you want to make a remote income from home, and
let me see how many days ago that was. Yeah, today will be 80 days ago. So yesterday. See, look, I go on that website, yeah, and the second thing is Champions of the World, Chelsea. Hey, that's cold. That's cold. Do you know what? I've got an idea. I might have to do it another time. But let me quickly leave a comment or read comments real quick on this. But let me know what your thoughts are on on Lewis's, comments, because obviously he's very opinionated as per usual. But, it's just one of those things where he's made some valid points, especially with the whole Enzo Maresca situation. He's won us a Club World Cup. Plus, also, I don't think we play boring football, by the way. I genuinely don't. I just think it's sometimes in the first half, we start off slow, but in the second half, we end up having more energy. I don't know whether that's the case of because he's trying to reserve the players' energy for the long haul of the season. I don't know what the situation is. Maybe it will change one day. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But anyway, let's see what people say in the comments real quick. I'm delighted with the result. Credit where it's due. We weren't the best team, but I saw a lot of players giving 100% for that win. Kukurev ran his socks off. He defended very well. I'd rather scrap for a 1-0 win than watch us pass the ball, around the back for 4 to 75%. Around the back with 75% possession and lose. It's a Champions League win and a clean sheet against a very good Benfica side. That's a fact. We are regressing very drastically and unraveling now. Disagree. Not going to like that comment, I'll be honest. Totally agreed with the performance. Was nowhere near good enough, but we got the win. We need to get a run of wins to build confidence. The style of play will come back with it up the Chelsea. I'm going to say this, yeah. Why did Chile catch a stray? However, it is the win that matters, and end result of the season is winning major trophies. Facts or true? Because that's the be all and end all. That's it. The aim is to win trophies, no? It's the aim not to win trophies. It's the aim not to win trophies. Leave your answer in the comments below. It's the aim not to win trophies. Doesn't matter if you win ugly or win pretty. Just win. And I do want to say the points that he did make. Like I said, they're valid points. Very, very valid points. Barring the whole Chile situation. And yeah, it's just one of those ones with Mourinho returning back to Stamford Bridge, his name being chanted, and each team losing, and we won. You know what I mean? Even though technically he's still a blue at heart. So it's like, it's a win-win. However, what happens next? Do we kick on from here and win more games? We shall see. We shall see. Do I have confidence and faith in Chelsea Football Club as a whole? 100%. You know what I mean? So we're only good as our next game. It's funny because do you remember when Mourinho said we'll take it a game at a time? He said something along those lines. This is the mentality that we need to have. Take things at a game at a time. That's what needs to happen. But anyway, let's see what Mr. George Benson is saying. That you know what I'm saying, George Benson. Let's see. It's my other channel that I've subscribed. The other channel. Do you know how I know? It's because I knew if I'm not getting notifications, do you know what I mean? It's on my other channel, the Akibulan Trust. Subscribe to that. By the way, my name is Versatile, aka the Akibulan Trust. The name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. And right now, obviously, we're reacting to the match report and highlights of, Chelsea versus Benfica. And obviously, we're going to react to George Benson's his reaction to 6 things we've learned. Not that one, obviously not. You know me? It's this one here. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the bell notification so you're notified when new content will be uploaded. Look, you see the next thing I'm reacting is this. The irony, right there. I ain't got time to see you on TV anymore. It's right there. But yeah, more content is on the way. Other content. Let me back in the Versatile and that.
Get out of the room!
You're going to appreciate. You understand? You're going to appreciate.
Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 1, Benfica 0. Finally, we got a win on shootout. We've done it. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. You guys were saying shootout was the curse. Eunice and I streaming from the pub was the problem. Well, we have proven tonight that we are not the problem, all right?
No, you may not. You may say you're not the problem, but can you guys not stream from that channel, please? Please. I even deactivated myself from the like I was added to this group. I was added to this group on Twitter, or some of you want to call it X now, or whatever the case is. But listen, it was called Twitter when I first started using Twitter, so I'm gonna call it that because I'm used to that. All right, so I removed myself from that group because the thing is, I kept on getting notifications every time something's happening in a match. And it's like, I don't want to see the notification. I just want to watch the game as it is. And then I want to analyze, break it down, or whatever the case may be. Do you know what I mean? Or do this. Do you know what I mean? So it's a thing of, at the end of the day, I can't put myself in that position again. So I removed myself. And there was one toxic person there in it as well. So that just made me, you know what? Let me cut from there. That's the perfect timing. Perfect. You know what I mean? Like even more reason. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I did tag them and mention it. But you know, yeah, we won. But you know, then again, it's funny because sometimes we can have all these things and be like, if you don't do this and don't do that, we may something may happen that we don't want to happen, so I'm going to make sure I put myself in a position where that doesn't happen. But whatever it's going to be is whatever it's going to be, to be completely honest with you. But it's still a good look to have put certain things into place to make sure you know all your lucky charms and situations are in order. So, yeah, I mean, it's mad when you think about it, when doing all this stuff, and when I really think about it. Because even the game before this, it just put my mind back in order and be like, nah, I need to get my priorities in order. You know what I mean? Because I missed out on streaming earlier in the day because I wanted to watch the game. Not to say that I couldn't watch the game stream before, because I could have, but do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just, anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's go.
We got the win! Make sure you check out the stream. Make sure you subscribe to Shootout and Eunice. And as well as that tonight, CB was here with us. He's flown all the way from England, from Matisse's stream for the Man United game. Was it Man United you're on? Or Brighton? You're on for Brighton. He's come from the Brighton stream with Matisse. He's come to Shootout tonight, and we've actually won. So make sure you go and check out the highlights from that. Chelsea have won tonight 1-0. Champions League victory under the lights, Stamford Bridge. We're back. Mourinho comes to Chelsea, and we've actually Mourinho'd exactly what Mourinho was supposed to do to us.
I knew that either Niinii, FC, or George was going to say something similar. I just knew it. I didn't want to be the one to say it. I just didn't want to be the one to say it. Because I was thinking about putting in for the title, but I thought, nah, I don't know. Nah, let me just use something different. But the fact that he mentioned that, yeah, he's right. We Mourinho. How about that?
Gone there, and this evening, tonight, it's an own goal that's been the goal that was scored. But for me, this was all about the 3 points. It's all about just going and getting the win. I don't care if it was ugly. The second half just went by. I didn't think anything happened. There's literally been nothing happening in that second half. I'm looking at 6 minutes at the end thinking, it should have finished at 84 minutes. You could have done. There was nothing that went on. Referee gives...
You could have finished at 84 minutes. I see what you did there. Get me? Because the game against Benfica in the Club World Cup, you know what I mean? We should have finished that game in 84 minutes when they tried to prolong it for like 2+ hours waiting, only for us to win 4-1 anyway. You know what I mean? Let's go.
6 minutes of added time. It is what it is. But look, tonight, it was all about Chelsea getting the job done. And I'll say this about Enzo Maresca's starting 11. You guys know it. I love Tyreek George, but I don't want to see him start up front for Chelsea. Tyreek George is the striker. Rob Sanchez in goal. You got Malo Gusto, Chalobah, Badiashile, Cucurella in the defence with Caicedo and Enzo playing in the middle. I think having those two fit tonight, Enzo Maresca was looking at it and thinking, well, do we risk both Caicedo and João Pedro? He doesn't risk starting Pedro, but, I mean, would it have been better if he did? Because he was going to get sent off anyway. João Pedro comes off the bench, gets himself a red card. I don't know how any of that happened, by the way. First yellow, what? Was he on the pitch for like 0.8 seconds? Quickest yellow card I've ever seen in history.
I didn't even realize when he got the first yellow
game, you're not ready for it.
And then the one at the end, I think he's unlucky. Chelsea get another red card, but we've also finally got a win. And if you're unaware about 6 things we learned, we talk about green boxes for good things. We talk about yellow boxes for things that can improve. And we talk about red for things that aren't very good. And recently, I've been getting tired, boys. I've been getting concerned. Every single game, we're talking about red box this, red box that. But tonight, we've got 3 points. We've got a clean sheet. We've actually not conceded a flipping goal. And that's all I care about right now. We've actually managed to come here and get a win, get the job done. It's easy. Chelsea have done it. And the goal itself is actually brilliant because there's 2 moments here. Pedro Neto, what we see with him, right foot and left foot. Neto cuts it back, puts it across, and Garnacho holds his run perfectly. Garnacho makes it to the byline, cuts it back, and Rios, who's a defender from Brazil, arrives to Benfica in the summer, and he buries it top bins. And I'm like, thank you very much. That's Garnacho's goal. That is Alejandro Garnacho's goal. It's a perfectly timed run, and this is what we got him for. CB was saying this on the stream. Garnacho, those cutbacks and those assists, that's what he does. And that's basically what he's done tonight. If Chelsea had a striker who's actually a striker out there, it wouldn't have been an own goal. We'd have been talking about adding another goal to the striker. But look, we've just beaten Mourinho. And I was...
That's an important thing to mention. So imagine when Liam Delap comes back. And obviously, João Pedro's a striker as well. So, but the type of striker Liam Delap is, I'm going to enjoy seeing the link-up play with Garnacho under that. I'm going to enjoy seeing that. I'm going to enjoy seeing that. Like, I could be wrong, but you know, my predictions earlier on. I mean, hey. Anyway, what are you guys for? Are you looking forward to the link-up between Garnacho and João Pedro, or Garnacho and Liam Delap? Which one? Or Marquis? You never know. Let's go.
I was worried that the narrative tonight was going to be all about Mourinho, and then come full time, we're going to be questioning Maresca, we're going to be potentially questioning selection, questioning substitutions. The substitutions tonight were excellent. I wouldn't have done anything any different.
I told you.
First of all, he's not just going defensive. We're not
I told you.
trying
Didn't I not say
to
that?
wait for the 1-0 and inviting pressure. That is the reason we keep losing. We're winning, or it's 0-0, and we make defensive subs, invite the pressure, then we're going to concede a goal. But tonight we didn't do that. Tonight we actually made like-for-like subs. We brought on attackers. We tried to give ourselves the opportunity to score a second. And as much as that second half was an absolute snooze bore fest, let's be real, it was awful, but the substitutions were the right ones. Reece James coming on late as well. We didn't manage to risk him. I thought Malo Gusto had a decent game at right back for Chelsea. Maybe not defensively again, still questions, but I thought going forward he was good too. But let's move now into the 6 things that we learned tonight. And finally, we have got a host of green boxes. Box number 1, Pedro Neto. I'm going to say that it's an assist for Neto, even though it's like, not. Is it even an assist for Garnacho for the cutback and then it's an own goal? Neto puts the cross in, he sees the run of Garnacho, Garnacho cut back, own goal, Chelsea 1-0, we've won the game. Pedro Neto tonight was absolutely everywhere. He looked like one of the players, and listen, I think right now, when Chelsea are in this kind of predicament where form is questionable, results are clearly not good enough, I want to see someone go out there and be like, I'm the man, I'm the guy, I'm going to make the difference. And if anyone was doing that tonight, I think Pedro Neto was the man. I think he was working hard.
Right, having a difference maker in the side always helps, especially when going through difficult patches and in the difficult moments. And yeah, do you know what it is? Like, actually, I won't say it. It's fine. Let's keep moving.
As he always does. No one can ever question the work rate of Pedro Neto. But tonight, also end product, it's still not perfect. We can still get more, whether that's goals, assists, or whatever. But I think tonight he was levels above everybody else. Box number 2, Garnacho. I'm giving him a green because the run, the timing of the run is excellent. And he gets into that position, cuts it back, and then Rios has got no choice but to knock it into the roof of the net. So for me, Alejandro Garnacho, he gets taken off, right? And he's on that run, and you can see it. He's remembering that he thinks he's Cristiano Ronaldo. Garnacho, he's dribbled the length of the pitch. I'm like, this is a great run. All you got to do now is pass it to someone. Put it somewhere else. He shoots, it goes into Rosed, and we're trying to retrieve another Champions League ball from the Chelsea crowd. By the way, how good was that? Listening to the Champions League music, we're back
I was literally saying the same thing. Like, he should have just passed the ball. And shout out to George Benson. It's funny because, yeah, just knowing that he knew it's the same thing I was thinking. Same thing. It's always good when us fan base can think alike on a positive thing. Not on a negative thing, on a positive thing.
Big time, and we are back with 3 points, clean sheet and a win. But Alejandro Garnacho, I think he walked into that substitution. If he scored that goal, then we're talking about a massive moment, and he probably doesn't get substituted. The fact he stuck it into Rosed, almost out into flipping West Brompton Station with a shot like that, he gets taken off. But all in all, I'm going to say very well done to Garnacho. Box number 3, Robert Sanchez. Not a night where he had massive saves to make, but in the first half, there was one where he gets down really low, gets a hand to it, hits the post, comes back out, and Chelsea keep the ball out of the net. Tonight, it was absolutely imperative that Chelsea looked more solid defensively. Thought Sanchez was looking to release the ball quickly. We looked a little bit nervous at times tonight. I feel like
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
The occasion was just about beating Mourinho. If we keep a clean sheet, great, but let's just win the game.
Facts.
And I think Robert Sanchez did well. There are a couple of good saves, and he looked positionally like he was trying to close down the angles. When you can see, and we're seeing this game after game right now, Chelsea tonight, when the ball comes across the face of the goal, we look a little bit confused. We don't know how to deal with it. Players aren't taking leadership and commanding the area. Sanchez did that, and I'm going to say well done to him for that tonight. Box number 4, Moises Caicedo, question marks. Is he fit? Is he ready? Is he going to play? And he starts the game tonight, and he was absolutely monstrous again. I thought Enzo Fernandez was great. I think it certainly helped the crowd to be able to kind of get under the skin of the Benfica fans, try and trigger them a little bit, and get physical with those players. But Caicedo, if that is not a fully fit Caicedo, then bloody hell. When he does get back to full sharpness, which, look, when it comes to this international break that we're about to see, part of me really hopes that certain players, some players in particular, pull out of international duty. And listen,
he needs to pull out.
I've played at Wembley twice, by the way, in the Wembley Cup. But, playing for England, you can never turn your nose up at that. Same for Caicedo playing for Ecuador, right? But if there's any chance any of our players could just not play in the international so that we can get a bit more fitness up, I don't think it's about playing more right now. It's about playing less. and Moises Caicedo tonight. He
I
looks
agree.
fit.
I agree with
that. If
that.
there is any part of him that isn't fully fit, please look after yourself. Liverpool at the weekend now. We go in with a victory, and we can look forward to that game. Box number 5, Enzo Maresca.
Yeah,
Deserves a green. If I'm going to sit here on GBFC and criticise his substitutions, I've got to praise it when it's good.
Yeah.
And tonight, Maresca's substitutions were very positive. The starting 11, questionable. Every Chelsea manager, we spoke about this on stream, every manager in recent eras have had that player that they like. For Pochettino, it was Gallagher. I think for Maresca, it's Tyreek George. And CB said that on stream tonight. And I think it's true.
No. You think it's Tyreek George? No. I don't even think it's Tyreek George. I think at a time, it was Nicholas Jackson. It was Nicholas Jackson that was his favourite player. But now, if I'm honest, no, even so, no, his player is Enzo Fernandez. Same namesake, Enzo. And Enzo Maresca was a midfielder as well. And he's talked about it before, how he can, you know what I mean, help him improve it in certain ways. Obviously, he can help improve other players, but Enzo Maresca is Enzo Fernandez father, basically. Basically. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
I don't get this whole Tyreek George up front experiment. Tyreek George is a great ball striker, decent winger, lots of potential. He's not a striker. Too many times tonight we're crossing the ball in the box to no avail, but at least the substitutions, when we're currently depleted with injuries, Maresca's substitutions tonight were positive.
Right.
And instead of bringing on defender, try and see out the game, he's trying to do it a different way. He's bringing on Esteval. He's bringing on Gittins. He's bringing on Joao Pedro. And look, I've not really spoken too much about Joao Pedro. It's a red card. He gets sent off. It's not ideal. He misses the next Champions League game at home to Ajax. At least it isn't Barcelona. But Pedro just didn't quite look as sharp. But Chelsea, we just got the job done. That's all that matters tonight. Box number 6, I'm giving a green to Chalobah and Badiashile.
He had to.
I think as a defensive partnership, they look good, particularly when it came to actually getting the ball out of defence and moving it forward. I think there's still moments where the ball comes across the face of the goal. Chelsea look good.
Me personally, I feel like if Badiashile is able to stay fit and healthy for the rest of the season, and knowing that Cole was basically out for the majority of the season, it's like, but I do hope he does return back in time to play at least some of the season. I feel like this should be the partnership. No disrespect to Uncle Tosin, but this to be the partnership. Especially because Badiashile's got the height, he's got the physicality. You know what I mean? Those are the type of defenders we genuinely need. We need defenders that got that physicality and that got that height. Do you know what I mean? Because who remembers when we had Robbie Huth? You know what I'm saying? Just saying. And that was under the Mourinho era as well. Like, he always liked his defenders tall. Like, if you know, you know.
Confusing. Chelsea look like we don't know how to deal with it. But listen, tonight was just about winning. It's about not allowing the narrative of Mourinho coming to the bridge and making life even more difficult for us, being the powerful one. It's just about getting the job done. And tonight, we've managed it. We've done it. Chelsea 1, Benfica 0. Going to wrap up this 6 Things We Learned video now so that Eunice can jump in, get his match review up. Make sure you check out Eunice's channel. Make sure you check out Shootout as well. Links in the description. We stream every game from the Belgian Beer Cafe where we're filming these videos now. And finally, we get our first win in the pub. Thank you guys for all the love and support. As I said, subscribe to Shootout. I think we've hit 35,000 subs tonight, which is great. We're back in the studio tomorrow morning. But yeah, finally, phew, we get the job done. Thank you guys for watching. Come on, you Blues.
Come on, you Blues. Anyway, let's see what people say.
Traditional rents are simply not covered.
This guy tries to load of wax, but anyway. No, I want to say no disrespectfully. Anyway, obviously, like, All right, let's see if people's in the comments. Obviously, we're gonna hit the like on that. All right, so Esteval bit button, up, down, left. If Esteval's played for any team in the world, he would be a starter and maybe captain. But for some reason, Chelsea and Maresca have decided to make him look not important. No, don't do that. I'm not liking that. He had no experience in Europe and he's too young. Maresca, stop talking for yourself and put Esteval in the starting lineup team ahead of everyone else. If he's injured, I don't care. No, see, here's the thing. I understand that comment, but the reality is this. One, he's 18 years old, and then two, bear in mind, we have a next match against an important match as well against Liverpool. So the thing is, if Maresca has it in his mind that Esteval Willian is to play against and to start against Liverpool, then maybe he has that in mind. You don't know what the tactical setup is going to be, and it's like sometimes you got to wonder, like, is it a thing where Maresca felt we would still win whether he starts or doesn't? You get it? Like, you got to trust the other players. The same way we can't always rely on Cole Palmer, got to trust the other players. It is what it is. I don't understand why Gu doesn't get minutes, why recall him. Badister proved today that it's important to have at least one ball-playing defender in the lineup. That's true. Our build-up play was much better, smoother than the past games. That's too bad. Almost all our attacks, bar Neto, was not good enough today. So I'm gonna say Mourinho. Up Chelsea. Excellent review. But yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are on obviously George Benson's reactions. Leave it in the comment section below. Yeah, man, I'm very much impressed with how we played. I know some may say it's boring, but that's my thing. I feel like sometimes you have to look at it from the perspective of what is the aim? The aim is to win. But also, what is the other aim? Have the next game in mind. Knowing, okay, this player is potentially going to start. This player is going to potentially start. They may, you know what I mean? This person may come off from the bench. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's important that we get more points on the board in the Premier League. The fact that when you think about it, you got to bear that in mind. Like, the previous game, look what the result was in the Premier League, and the game before that, look what the result was. So we have to find a way to collect points, collect 3 points, especially at home. So if it means Esteval has to start from the bench, cool. If it means João Pedro has to start from the bench, cool. It is what it is. We have to rotate the squad in an efficient and effective way, and it worked. We won the game and it worked. Let's be grateful. All right? Let's be grateful. So, yeah, let's get on to what Blue Lions TV is saying, a.k.a. Niinii FC. I'll try not to pause as much, but, yeah, let's go. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Let's keep it moving.
The all-new iPhone 17 Pro is here. All Out Pro. With O2, save up to £794 when you trade in. From under £65 a month.
Tonight, Chelsea have secured their first 3 points of the new Champions League season, courtesy of a Raphael Onochie on goal. Now, for myself, you can analyse this game from two perspectives: the performance and the result. I'm going to do both. I'm going to start off by discussing the performance first, because ultimately, for this young team to secure their first 3 points in the Champions League is big. It's significant, especially because we had to grind this win out. It wasn't the sexiest performance. It wasn't the most free-flowing. There were tons of mistakes, tons of individual errors, barely any shots on goal. I don't know how we got this win in the end. Mourinho for maybe showing us maybe a bit too much respect in the first half, which worked in our favour. But for me,
I disagree.
I stress the importance of securing.
I don't think they showed us respect, because even with the commentators, they were saying how it's similar to the Carabao game they had, where they themselves were making mistakes. Do you understand? So it comes down to that, but also you have to think about the wing play. I think that is effectively why we actually won the game. And I think if you think about the way that they were set up, you know what I mean? They were set up in a low block way, where at least this time, because we had Garnacho on and Pedro Neto on at the same time, we were able to overcome. But the problem is, because we don't have an out-and-out striker on, and it was Tyreek George, unfortunately, you know what I mean? Some chances couldn't have been created in a way that it would have normally been created and then eventually put away. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. And I could be wrong, but you have to think about it in a sense of, remember, Tyreek George is not an out-and-out striker. He is actually a winger. However, maybe this season he's developing as a striker, which is mad to say when you think about it in context of things. But it is what it is.
3 points, because we'll look back and we'll forget about how we played, because of the significance of getting 3 points hopefully helps us qualify to the knockout rounds. Because honestly, we're going to need all the points we get, because I think this game kind of proved to me we're a lot younger than I thought. Now, yes, I know we're young, but in terms of like
we're younger technically than last
the youthfulness, the youthful inexperience, the lack of quality, the mistakes at times in key areas, the youthfulness showed in this game. The youthfulness showed big time, and it makes me think about some of the quotes that
the under 21. Didn't they win? Like, let me even see if I can go to it. Let me play and then
seeing from reports on Maresca, maybe feeling like the strength of his squad is maybe less compared to last season. The quality maybe isn't quite the same, even though the potential is looking quite promising. But in terms of immediate quality for right now, you know, reports are suggesting that he feels like maybe the quality hasn't been improved upon from last season. And I think with performances like this, you can kind of understand and see it right. Let's be honest. You can see the youthfulness. You can see the inexperience. You can see the struggle, the mistakes, a lot of the stuff that kind of typified our performance today. Today, we can thank the experienced players for stepping up. I thought Marc Cucurella was excellent against Luca Bacchio. Luca Bacchio is not a tough player. It's not an easy player to play against. He is not at all. But Cucurella played his first good game in the last 4 or 5 games by completely shutting him up and nullifying any threat he has. And I'm actually happy to see him put in this performance tonight, knowing that we have Liverpool on the weekend, because he will have a tough test against Salah and he has to be ready and raring to go. So this was promising and really good. Another player who showed experience, Moises Caicedo. I think hopefully he ended this game with 100% pass completion, but he was constantly there, especially in the final 20 to 25 minutes, shutting up shop, making the key tackles, breaking the play up at the crucial times, being in the right position when we needed him, and also showing his world-class ability.
Okay, so the Chelsea youth, ironically, they beat Benfica 5-2. So let's not say that. Yeah, let's not use how young they are as an excuse, or not an excuse, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's what it is.
Resist the press and receive from the defense and help us play forward. He did what he had to do. And the other player to show his experience today.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent, adaptive, effortless. It doesn't replace your bed.
Was Pedro Neto. He had a really absorbing battle alongside, as his name, Bar I forgot what the guy's name is. I think he's like a Danish international. But it's a really fun battle between them. And I would say that Neto edged it and won that battle. You could see it in terms of just how strong this guy is. Like Neto, Loki's one of the strongest players, one of the strongest wingers I think I've ever seen at Chelsea. Players bounce off him. Yeah, he has, strong upper body strength. He can ride challenges. And mixed in with his explosive pace today, and the confidence he felt as well. You could definitely see it in this game. He felt like, okay, this is a battle I'm relishing, and I'm going to make sure I win this. And I thought he was really effective.
That similar strength as a winger that played for Chelsea before. Even answer the comments below. Because the two names that come to mind are Duff and Robin. But anyway.
For us in the game today, one of his better performances in the last few games. He had the crucial involvement in this game by setting up Alejandro Garnacho. And you can see the difference. Of course, he played that in-swinging cross twice. On the first occasion, Garnacho's movement maybe, he wasn't closer towards goal like he should have been. But for the second in-swinging cross, Garnacho timed it perfectly. Yeah, Benfica, they allowed him to have that space, but they didn't communicate effectively enough in terms of who steps out to deal with him. And by the time the cross came in, which was an excellent delivery from Pedro Neto. We know this guy has world-class crosses under his belt. Garnacho was there at the right time. Unfortunately, even though I felt like he was trying to go for the shot that he mishit, at least from just being in the right position, it helps us take the lead in this game. Now, I thought Benfica could have done a lot more. They only really pushed on in the final, 15-10 minutes, which worked in our favor. 100% that worked in our favor. That helped. But outside of that, man, I just felt like today, the youthfulness, it did show. It showed in Garnacho.
Don't do that. Like I just said, the youth beat Benfica 5-2. Obviously, that's Benfica youth, yeah? I'll just put it down to the fact of inexperience. Let's put it down to that. Inexperience. But at the same time, I won't even put it down to inexperience. We won the game. And it's mad, yeah, because obviously we've been making mistakes since the start of the season anyway. The only difference in this game is I feel like we were more resolute in defense. You understand? That's how I see it. I mean, we weren't like the best defensively. Don't get it twisted. But I'm saying the fact that we got them in quite a few offside traps, it puts me in the mind frame of, yeah, they were good. We were good defensively. Do you know what I mean? We were resolute. It's what it is.
Yes, he's a high volume player. We know this. I've been saying this for a long time. You'll be in the right positions every, few actions. But in terms of the end products and quality, it just wasn't always there consistently to really, put that pressure on the opponents. But he had that one moment in the counter-attack when he should have maybe played the pass to Esteval. Instead, he just balloons it out the stadium by the looks of things. That is what he does at his age right now. That is who he is. He was replaced for Jamie Gittins, and Gittins showed maybe a bit more adventure in terms of his willingness to attack his man and carry the ball. But in terms of the end products, it was non-existent. And two things show from both their performances. They need a bit more time getting used to playing with the teammates around them. It makes sense.
What did I say? So all those that are heavily criticizing Gittins, and maybe not so much Garnacho, but definitely Gittins. But we did hear Lewis criticize Garnacho. So let's just, what I'm saying? Give them time. You got to remember, it's different if they all play together at youth level for a national side, for example. Yeah, let's just use that for an example. This is why the link-up play between Madueke, Cole Palmer, and Levo Colwell was I won't say the greatest, but it was. You could see that there was a union there. There was a link there because they played together at youth level for England. You understand? Especially Madueke and Cole Palmer. So it just kind of made sense. Do you get it? So that's the whole point. And fair enough. Gittins, I think at one point he played at youth level with Cole Palmer, but Cole Palmer wasn't on. So you got to think, you got to look at it from that perspective. Like, there's so many variables when it comes to football as well. Plus, I'm not saying he's new to England, but at the same time he is, because he was playing in the Bundesliga, which is a different league. Like, let's be real. Yes, we got slapped up by Bayern Munich. Yeah, we got slapped up by Bayern Munich. It is what it is. Yeah, but we hold the Champions League over them at what's their stadium called again? I forgot what it's called now. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like, Munich, obviously. That night in Munich, yeah? Like, come on, man. Like, think about it. We hold that over them in 2012, so here's what it is. However, we can only go by recent events, right? So, in recent events, they slapped us 3-1, right? But the problem is, it's like, in general, the Bundesliga is not necessarily a competitive league in comparison to the Premier League. Like, in fact, the Liga is more competitive than the Bundesliga. I believe the only two leagues, especially in Europe, so let me use Europe, is the Premier League and not Serie A, the Bundesliga and La Liga. Those are the two competitive leagues in Europe. Those are the two leave your answer in the comments below. What leagues in Europe, the top two, are the most competitive? So if the Bundesliga isn't in that, then you have to remember that certain players are going to take a bit more time to adapt to the Premier League when they come to the Premier League. And sometimes some hit it straight away. You know what I mean? Like Michael Ballack, for a prime example, who came from Bayern Munich to Chelsea, like straight away. But that was a different era. Do you get it? There's different training methods. Some players have their own personal trainers as well. Some people, some footballers have their own chefs. Like, there's so many variables that go into this situation. Then you got to remember how do they learn under the manager, for example. Like, what are they telling them? How are they intaking that information? How are they inputting it? Because think about it. They could be, like, for example, Eden Hazard, for like a prime example, like, didn't like training, yeah, but when it comes to match day, he will go off. He's still one of the best Premier League players ever, yeah, one of the best Premier League players ever. So, but he barely even trained. So under Enzo Maresca, I guarantee you he wouldn't start. He wouldn't start because he doesn't train effectively enough or good enough. Bear that in mind. So imagine with Gittins. I'm not saying that he's not training good enough. I'm just saying that if he's not, or let's not use Gittins as an example. If a player is not training to the level that Maresca is expecting from the player or from players, certain players will not get picked. It is what it is. That's just how it goes. And you have to also keep in mind, Maresca can only pick the squad from players that, unfortunately, he doesn't really have much involvement in the transfers. It is what it is. I mean, would it be easier? Maybe, but maybe not. Who knows? So let's just keep that in mind.
They haven't really been playing too often. They're on the bench. The last two games, they didn't even come off the bench. So they're kind of behind in terms of like their chemistry with the rest of their teammates, and that definitely showed today. I thought Jamie Gittins was quite frustrating at times. I feel like maybe it's a confidence thing as well. He's gone to a new stadium, the pressure of playing for us. Every time the fans grow and you make a mistake, which is what they are going to do, it's not going to give you the confidence to get the right action correct for the next time. So it's not ideal that you have two really young wingers who are still quite raw, who can't maybe offer you that immediate level of quality straight off the bat. That's the reality. We just don't have that. Let's keep it real. So that definitely did show in the game today. I can really continue this example. Tyreek George, I keep saying, man, he's literally Nkunku 2.0 under Maresca because he's playing out of position and he just offered nothing up front. Even dropping deep, doing anything. His one moment came from a great pass by Kukurea, nice little cutback, but his body shape wasn't even set up really to deal with receiving that pass and taking a shot. And that was like the only bit of danger he had in the entire game. I can understand why the performance wasn't as great when you don't have that forward sometimes you want to rely upon. That's not Tyreek George. He's not an out-and-out striker. He's a second striker, a guy that links to play. You know, he comes from behind. So that's the type of player he is. He isn't that guy. And you can even see immediately like the little quality difference in terms of Joao Pedro coming on, being able to, you know, ride contact, having a bit of an interesting battle alongside Otamendi, dropping deep to receive. It added maybe a bit more and helped maybe release some of our runners a bit more out wide. So we definitely lacked some of that as well. But in terms of the youthfulness, you know, we did see some great quality. And that came from none other than...
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe wherever you want.
For Rough Riders. You know.
Esther, wow. I mean, some of the moments, he
like
is worth the ticket price you pay. My lords.
Esther, wow.
The amount of money they charge for this game tonight, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. But if you did have to fork a fortune to watch this game, at least Esteval gave you some of that entertainment. And he helped relieve, you know, offer some relief from an entertainment perspective, because there were just some incredible individual moments of skill he went on. Like the moment he came on the field, the weaving runs, the close control, that first touch that he brought down on a dime just like that. Bro, it's not normal for an 18-year-old to be this good. And he went on a few more runs as well. There was one in particular at the end of the game where he just kind of ran out of steam when it came to maybe finding that pass down the left-hand side. But you just think to yourself, whatever legs this project has, for me, I've just always had this sense, and I've been saying it before he was even at this football club, a lot will rely upon how well Esteval develops here and plays for the team. We're going to have to do our bit. I did feel like outside of those individual moments where Esteval was looking to kind of just like put the team on his back and produce something from nothing, because it was quite stale offensively. We didn't test the keeper at all. There was times where he wasn't as involved actually in the second half, where the ball wasn't finding him. A lot of the play went more down the left-hand side, and a lot of that was just getting wasted by Gittins losing the ball or, you know, having zero end product with his actions, same thing Garnacho. And I think that kind of hurt the amount of impact that Esteval could have had. If this told me one thing, this game tells me that Esteval starts against Liverpool, he could be a real secret weapon for us. A really big weapon, especially with that ball carrying ability. That's going to be really big for this team. We need to have that. I just thought he was a bit more exciting compared to Onochie today, who again, another youthful guy where, listen, I thought Benfica were quite dirty. They could have got maybe another yellow or two, but persistent foul.
Typical Mourinho,
constantly hacking at our ankles, clipping us, stopping attacks. A very Mourinho type of performance. We know what to expect from our former manager. But I just think that Onochie, he suffered a little bit today. But there just wasn't much, like, he wasn't really taking the game by the scruff of the neck and really producing things. Like, I think he can do, not as good as Esteval, but he can offer more of that. And I'm still seeing a young guy that's playing within himself. And I think if you're Maresca, it's like, you know, I did all this stuff last season, now I got to do it all over again with guys that were even younger. I can maybe understand the secret frustration that he might be having, because after you've tasted silverware, you want to put.
I mean, he shouldn't. Do you know why he shouldn't? Because he should have already known that you're more or less going to be a puppet, basically. You're a puppet on a string. The only thing you can control is the starting 11, who starts. Do you know what I mean? From the squad of players that we allow you to have, basically. That's essentially what it is. So he should know this already. Like, respectfully, he should know this already. Any manager that comes into Chelsea knowing these owners should know that. And if you act up as if you don't know that, then I don't know what's wrong with you, irrespective of winning trophies or not. You just got to find a way to adapt your mind to be like, okay, what did I do the previous season to get these lads playing in a way that helped us win these trophies so we can be consistent? That should really be the mentality, really. Not moaning or groaning about, oh, we need a centre back, we need this, we need that. Hey, listen, we got Cobham Academy. Yeah, me, we got Cobham. We can go into Cobham if need be. There's nothing wrong with that. You see the likes of Real Madrid do things like that. You see the things like Barcelona do things like that. They go into their academy. And then eventually, some of those players end up becoming regular starters. You know what I mean? They end up becoming regular starters and end up doing actually quite well. And it's not to say that we haven't had that in the past, because we have. But do you know what I mean? Like, solutions. Because that was my thinking. If Maresca was thinking about solution, we have to find a solution. That's what I was thinking. But look, Badish shows back, so who knows? Matt, get me? Does that seem to have to come from that other squad, or whatever you want to call it? Get me? Because we still need the extra centre back as cover. So, and he better not play as a flipping right back. That's for certain. But let's go.
You want to be supported so you can just like focus on doing Chelsea 2.0. And instead, it feels like we're doing Chelsea 1.5. And I think maybe that's like the little disappointing thing about the summer window that we just had. But listen, we got a win today. The first win Maresca secured, going down to 10 men. It's a bit shameless, right? I mean, Joao Pedro getting sent off, missing Ajax. Hopefully we have enough in the tank for Ajax, because Ajax have really gone down in quality for sure. But again, to get another consecutive red card, maybe it was kind of harsh, but I think when you're kind of raising your leg that high, you know, there's a massive chance that card's going to be going against you. And I think it was kind of sloppy to get 2 yellows on that occasion. That wasn't great at all. So it looks like we'll be relying upon Tariq George unless Mark Yu can somehow impress Maresca. I know some of you guys might be thinking Bai's not getting a chance, but it's quite obvious that Maresca just doesn't rate him right now. He's using everyone else other than Mark Yu. I feel like the fan base's perspective on Gu is more about the idea of Gu compared to the reality right now. Imagine you had Liam Delap at 18 years old for you, or 19. I mean, the guy was a part-time player in the championship at the same age. He was a squad player back then. It wasn't until he was 21 that he could showcase something in the league. And Gu is still like 2 years away from that. So we need to have a bit of perspective in regards to what we have. And there will always be those question marks around the summer window. Allowing some of the key guys to go. Yes, we had to sell guys so we can register players for the CL squad. But then, you know, did we sell players who are maybe more ready now compared to who we've brought in? I guarantee Madueke's on that bench, bro. Maresca's using him tonight. Let's keep it real. He's playing all the games. Probably ahead of Garnacho and ahead of Gittins. And Kunku. You know, we forced a sale, hoping that we could maybe still bag Xavi Simons or Femin. Instead, we got Boanodse on loan. But his experience, especially...
I don't think we were ever going to get Xavi Simons in the first place. I'll talk about it another topic, another day. Get me in regards to transfers. I'll talk about it another day. I don't think, but I'll just say this: I don't think we were ever going to get Xavi Simons in the first place.
CR. Now that, you know, his position kind of opens up now this season. He could have played that Palmer role when Palmer's not in the team. we can't rely upon him. And even Nico Jackson getting a goal and assist for Bayern Munich today. And we've replaced him with our third choice or second choice striker from last season. It's I don't know, it puts things in perspective about where we are right now. And I think that was the reality that hit me watching this game today. But listen, that's the performance, they're the reviews. But in terms of the result, this was a big one for us because all the points we can collect right now will matter in terms of helping us progress the knockout rounds. So my friends, that's everything Chelsea versus Barcelona. Share your big moments of the game today. Who impressed you? Who didn't impress you? Let us know in the comments right now. And I'll catch you guys later. Love. Cool.
Creators, I put these 3 apps to run my business.
All right, let's leave Malcolm. Let's read what people are saying first. That would help. That would help. All right, so I would say Boanote, he came in with no hype, is completely outshining overhyped Garnacho. Gittins, I'm not liking that because I disagree with that. Once Esteval gets that final product down pat, oh boy, what a baller. Esteval is a baller. So I'm going to say Garnacho impressed me. Not going to lie. But, yeah. Esteval. Am I spelling his name right? Wow. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is important that we got this win, especially at home, irrespective of who the opposing manager is. We'll always rate Mourinho, but no room for sentiments, especially during a season. You know what I mean? No room for sentiments, especially during the season. It is what it is. Yeah, no room for sentiments, but it was good to see that Mourinho's back at the bridge. He's back. Get me? Got his custard creams. You know what I mean? Nah, man, it's good. That just shows you. Get me? Once a blue, always a blue. Even though he's a red now for Benfica and that, although he was originally a Benfica man in the first place, but the accomplishments he's made with us and thereafter, and even before us, it's amazing, man. Like, he's undoubtedly one of the best managers in the world. It's a shame we didn't end up winning the Champions League with him. That would have been a great achievement. But listen, we've won a lot under Mourinho, and you know, if possible, we could win a lot and a lot more with Maresca. What are your thoughts? Leave your answer in the comments below. Do you think we'll be able to win a lot more with Enzo Maresca? And I don't want to make the comparisons, but I'm going to have to. Do you think it's possible that we can win a lot more? You know what I mean? Leave your answer in the comments below, because we do need a manager that has that level of stability now. You know what I mean? Irrespective if, well, in fact, that's what I was going to say. Hold on. Mentioning youthfulness, when the youth beat Benfica youth 5-2. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Man, I definitely want to do more content like this. I genuinely do. I genuinely do. But yeah, I'm intrigued to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure you stay subscribed. More content is coming on the way. Yeah, man. Chelsea, hey, Chelsea. We're gonna make it a blue day. Hey, la 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 la.